Ready? Shalom, we out here once again giving our praises to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakana Kodash.
So, I mean, what can we say? There's a lot going on in the world. So, there's many ways we can go with this lesson. However, I've been really meditating on how things are in America and how really it's hard to build a family and raise a family in America. And so one of the scriptures that came to my mind was 2 Peter 3:13. Because a family and love, is what we all long for, but it doesn't exist in this world of capitalism.
Not the way we want it to.
Exactly.
Yeah, precept?
Yeah, I just said it. Get 2 Peter 3:13.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
So what is the promise? The promise is the kingdom of heaven. So that's what we look forward to, because that's when a new heaven and a new earth is going to be established. And what I mean by that is there's going to be a new people on this earth ruling. And that's going to be the Israelites. It's no longer going to be the Edomites. And in our kingdom, it's going to be a world that's just full of righteousness. So, everybody wants something in this world, something that brings excitement to them or something that brings fulfillment to them, whether it be a family, children, a wife, a house, land. But the truth is, you're never going to have it the way that you want it until we're in the kingdom of heaven. That's just facts.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14. I'll start at the 37th verse. If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophecy, and forbid not to speak with tongues. Let all things be done decently and in order. And now in the kingdom under Esau's rulership, things will never be the way we want it, because it's not ran decently and in order. It's like all the laws written here are contrary to the scriptures, It's like they remix it, and whatever it says in the Bible, make it say the other thing, flip it. So that's why everything is just not right here. And that's why all we want is the kingdom of heaven, because until we have that, it's never going to be right here. No matter what they give you, you can't really enjoy it the way you want to enjoy it because of the system that's right here. They give you money, now you got to pay more taxes. It's like, what's the point of it all?
Yeah, we live in a society that allows women to get divorced and take half of the man's wealth.
According to the scriptures, a woman can't divorce a man.
But Cardi B's doing it. I heard that Offset, he's seeking after more than $10 million. I heard that they was trying to settle for $10 million in the divorce, but he's saying that he helped build her career, so he wants more. And that's not even to mention how she already got pregnant by another man. Right. So this whole place is just out of order. So it's yeah, it may look good on the surface, having a wife or a girlfriend or a family, because that's what we all long for. But once you get into the intricacies and the nuances of what it takes to achieve it or maintain it, you find out it ain't worth it.
it don't even feel like it's worth keeping, like it's worth having here.
Right.
To go through it all, to get what?
Yeah,
We
like
don't have anything. We don't own nothing.
yeah, like right now it's November, so it's holiday season. So now families is gonna get together. They're gonna be posting pictures of each other on social media and what have you. So then the people that don't have a partner, they're gonna start getting lonely. They're gonna feel lonesome. And they're gonna be like, why can't I be like that? Next year that's gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if you're a man of the Lord, don't allow that level of loneliness to get to your head.
Because ultimately, it's like we're really not missing out on nothing. Not having these things right now. Like, yeah, sure you may want it, but once you get it, it's like, yeah, it's cool, it's nice, but we got so much more promised to us. That's what we really waiting on.
And people only show you the highlights on social media.
For sure.
They never show you the lows.
I remember that nigga Charleston White. He said, nobody ever posted an eviction notice on Instagram. Nobody ever posted an eviction notice. But when that income tax hit, that tax season come around.
Don't let them see you when you're down. Don't let them see you when you're up. Really, social media is just a way for them to collect data about you.
For women, just show yourself off, get some validation.
Attention.
Boost your spirits.
That's what social media is for. It's for women because they love attention.
Exactly.
It's not really a place for a man. Some people believe that that's what the internet is for. It's trying to get after women, or
Matchmaking.
or get some knowledge. You can always go on Google and do research. You know what I'm saying? That's like the other half to the internet. Research. Because ever since the internet really got big with YouTube, it's like knowledge has been increased. Just help spread this gospel, this word. You know what I mean?
So, it says Ezekiel 33 and 32. It says, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lonely song, one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument.
Yeah, and this song is this word that we're teaching. It's like a song that only a select few can bop to. You know what I'm saying? The other people that don't like this song or what we're saying, or it doesn't sound good to them, then it just means that it's not for them.
Right? It says, for they hear thy words, but they do them not.
Yeah, because here we are, we all day long out here in these streets. I'm gonna say all day long, but you get what I mean. And we even on the internet, so we're accessible. You can hear this knowledge that we kicking, but for the most part, people looking at us like we're crazy or they ignore us.
It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet has been among them.
So when they're gonna know that a prophet has been among them is when the world hits them. When everything that we've been saying comes out to be true. About the mark of the beast, about societal collapse, martial law, straight chaos, and might I also mention the missiles. When the nuclear missiles get launched, then that's really gonna be like the icing on the cake.
They don't know they've been in such a bad case until the missiles are actually shot over here. That's when they're gonna want to get right, when the missiles are already on their way.
What you gonna do? You gonna try to outrun the missile? You gonna hide in your doomsday bunker? Like, let's be real.
I'm gonna read it again in the NLT. Ezekiel 33 and 32. It says, you are very entertaining to them, like someone who sings love songs with a beautiful voice or plays fine music on an instrument. They hear what you say, but they don't act on it. But when all these terrible things happen to them, as they certainly will, then will they know a prophet has been among them.
So that's clear as day. Some people, they just gotta see it. Faith isn't enough. We believe these prophecies is gonna come true. We even imagine it in our heads. But we tell this to somebody that doesn't believe, they're gonna be like, yo, you guys is crazy. What y'all talking about?
I read 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 1 in the NLT. It says, finally, dear brothers and sisters, we ask you to pray for us. Pray that the Lord's message will spread rapidly and be honored wherever it goes, just as when it came to you.
Yeah, because when we heard this truth, we were like, yo, this gotta be.
Yeah, it's like the light switch. Like it just came on.
This covers all the bases. This is the end all be all. Like this is what we've been searching for our whole lives, right? Whether we believed it or not.
And it's like when I'll speak for myself at least. It's like when I first heard the truth, I knew this was it. Like I had questions, but I didn't have any doubts.
Yeah, of course you always come in, you know, apprehensive or you got questions,
right?
As you should with anything that's new. And then, you know, you do your research, you learn more. You like, yo, my initial instinct was true. Like, yo, this is the truth. It's everything that we've been searching for.
But when we heard it, it's not like we was like, I don't know. It's like we didn't have the spirit of doubt. It was just more so interest. Like, yo, let's keep looking into this.
Yeah, you was inquisitive.
Right.
Like, you wanted to learn more.
It's not like it was a turn off to you. Like, yeah, what is this?
Yeah. It's like you didn't turn it down. Like, you didn't just completely like dash it. Be like, yo,
right.
We're the Israelites, man. Forget about that. You know what I'm saying? Like some people like Drewski.
Yeah, that's just the spirit some people have to it.
Like Drewski, here it is. We have 100% truth. We're the Israelites. That's for sure. Nobody can take that away from us. And you got dudes like Drewski that's making jokes about it, trying to be comedic about it. But we know we don't got nothing against them. You know, the scriptures say you can't do nothing. Matter of fact, you know what I'm talking about? You can't do nothing against the truth.
Before it.
Yeah, get it. So what Drewski's doing is just making the truth more famous by mentioning the name. You understand? That's why certain dudes, when they talking about somebody, or they trying to diss somebody, sometimes they don't even mention their name. They be like, man, I ain't trying to say his name. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to give him clout. Dude's name ain't even worth mentioning, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Drewski's saying our names.
Right.
He's getting us out there. It's promotion.
And you could tell, like, he knows something about the truth by his, like,
because
his movements and everything. It's like the whole psychology of it. Like,
because he was making jokes about, oh, Christmas is coming up. Y'all celebrate Christmas? Yeah.
He knew, like, intricacies. Like, yeah, you know he'd be listening.
You know what's up. You probably ran across the IUIC one day because, you know, they be doing, like, the marching.
Yeah, that purple and gold.
Yeah. You probably ran across him one day in the streets. He's like, you know what? That's gonna be my next skit.
Or you seen them marching through the streets. You know how they had that big march.
And he's like, yo, who are you guys? So Drewski know a little bit. He know a little something. Maybe he was told to do this.
He knows enough to know that he's an Israelite. I know he knows that much.
Or he at least heard about it. You got that?
Yeah, so 2 Corinthians chapter 13, I'll start at the 8th verse. It says, for we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. For we are glad when we are weak, and ye are strong. And this also we wish, even your perfection. Therefore I write these things being absent, lest being present I should use sharpness according to the power which the Lord hath given me to edification and not to destruction. Finally, brethren, farewell. Be perfect, be of good comfort, be of one mind, live in peace, and the God of love and peace shall be with you. Back to 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, 2nd verse. It says, pray too that we will be rescued from wicked and evil people, for not everyone is a believer.
Yeah, because that's our hope. We hope that we are the elect. That way, we be having like first dibs in the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying?
We already know, like, this message that we bringing out, it's not for everybody. Not everybody has that gift to understand it or accept it.
Somebody's got to be the 2/3.
You ain't even got to go as far as Drewski, like how you tell your like family members about the truth when you first heard it. Like, it was really nothing to them. Like, it's like it fell on deaf ears. But for you, it was like the greatest thing you ever heard. It says, but the Lord, 2 Thessalonians 3:3 in the NLT, it says, but the Lord is faithful. He will strengthen you and guard you from the evil one. And we are confident in the Lord that you are doing and will continue to do the things we commended you. May the Lord lead your hearts in a full understanding and expression of the love of God and the patient endurance that comes from Yahweh Shai. And like I said, it comes from the Lord. It's not something that we just, just forced our way into, or, read a book and now we have the understanding. Like, nah, it was the Lord dealing with you to accept this faith.
I gotta preach that. Psalm 69:22. Let their table become a snare before them, and that which should have been for their welfare, let it become a trap. So, there's many philosophies or ways of life that you can indulge in this world, and yet the most obvious and famous one is the Bible. Christianity, I should really say. And so that has been put in our minds to discourage us from wanting to learn more about the truth, even when it's right in our face. Because we read out the same book that the Christians read out of. We read the Bible, yet we're the only ones that can decode the scriptures and decipher the prophecies. So, with Christianity being so popular and it being pushed on a lot of jakes throughout history, they look at it like it's devalued, like, oh, been there, done that. So when you finally come with the truth out of the scriptures and you're breaking down the scriptures correctly, they're looking at it like, yo, this ain't really nothing special. So that which is supposed to be for your welfare, which is the Bible, let it become a trap. So it's like your strength turned into your weakness. Because in the scriptures is where you find out who we really are. It's where you find out prophecies about the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? And if you just knew what was going to take place in the future, you would come on board. You would get down with this truth right away. But because you don't believe in the scriptures or the prophecies, then it's nothing to you. It's not valuable to you. Which is sad.
But like you said, just reading it, like Christianity, they don't even know why they believe what they believe. They just believe it.
Yeah, they be following after the traditions of men, basically.
Right. If their grandmother believed it, their mother believed it, now you believe it. Like,
even though you can argue that the population in these churches is dwindling, a lot of people are leaving these churches or just not joining straight up.
because part of reading is comprehension. If you just read it for the sake of reading, but you don't understand what it is you're reading, you're wasting your time. Here we have the full comprehension, the 100% truth on the scriptures. This is Jeremiah 25:4. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh had sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, but ye have not hearkened nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, Turn ye again now everyone from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you, and to your fathers forever and ever."
I got a scripture. And just to highlight how, these churches that don't got the truth and a lot of people are not joining or leaving. Ecclesiastes 12:9. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yeah, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs. So in the Christian church, you see the opposite going on. You see the contrary. The preacher just telling you what you want to hear, stuff that sounds good, kicking you that prosperity doctrine, just so that you can stay within the church and keep paying your tithes. You see, preacher, pastor can get more money, which is a shame. So this is how a pastor should be. Continuing on, the preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written upright even words of truth. The words of the wise are as goods, and as nails fastened by masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. So this truth is it's sturdy. It's never gonna fold. It's gonna withstand the test of time. Verse 12. And further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. So you gotta watch out for these man-made philosophies and various other books, like whether it be the Quran.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you read the book that's loosely based on another book? Why don't you just read the book it came from?
Exactly.
Like, why don't you just get the information direct rather than somebody, just remixing it? Like, why don't you just get the pure thing, the original thing? I never understood that.
So that's the point.
This is Luke 6:39. It says, and he spake a parable unto them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into a ditch?
Yeah, the blind leading the blinds.
Pastor don't even know where he's going. The Lord deceived him to think that he knows what he's talking about, but he really doesn't. And now you're listening to somebody who don't know what they're talking about. But since they have such, conviction and, because pastors, you got to be charming to be a pastor,
You gotta have charisma.
Charisma, right? To get the people to buy into what it is you're selling.
That's why they all speak with that same cadence.
Yeah, God,
Yeah, that's
all that. It's
which
a show.
I can't stand that.
It's
Like,
a
I see right through that.
It's like it's a show. They're performing really.
Yeah, they did. They're just entertaining.
Yeah.
That's why they be playing songs, they be singing, playing the drums, playing instruments, because it's just about performing.
Performing. You
Putting
think
on
they
a
like
show.
that at home with their wife and their children talking like that? They talk regular at home. When they get up on the podium,
They're like, yup,
pull the curtains back.
we put on my good suit.
The lights is on.
This is my good suit.
Game time.
It's Easter Sunday too. Oh yeah, I'm bringing out the baby blue ones.
Bringing out that powder pink. It's game time. But
They gonna like this one.
But like the scriptures say, you can't deceive the elect. The elect see right through that. Like we understand you playing on the pulpit. Like we understand you pimping right now. That's all it is. You're not kicking no high knowledge to us.
And Jake is the best at pimping. When you think about it, because they got a whole culture of that over there in Oakland, California. That's their thing, pimping. And in other places as well.
Really, all over.
Around the country.
Anywhere that women being sold, there's pimping behind it.
Right. Pimps are with their women. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's going to be a correlate. It correlates with how we're going to treat Edomites in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be like pimps to them. They're going to be our money makers, and we're going to be like pimps. In the sense that whatever we want to get off some aggression or frustration and just let loose, we'll be able to treat them the way we want to treat them. But yeah, come here, smack me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're gonna have to whip that type of stuff. So yeah, Jake is the best at pimping.
Because pimping is all psychological. It's psychology.
It starts in the bonds.
Right.
Because it's about control. That's what it's about. And what you're doing to get what you want out of the person, or how it's going to benefit you. Remember that rapper, that guy, Sugar Free?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Sugar Free. He promotes that culture.
I think I know what he said. This is Isaiah 42. I start at the first verse. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them."
Stop. Look up that word strangers. Because some camps teach that the strangers is talking about the other nations, the heathens, and how they're going to be joined to us. But when you go into that word strangers in the Hebrew, it says the opposite.
This is strangers. It says a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer lacking inherited rights.
Yeah, a newcomer. So that's the Israelites that come into the knowledge of the truth, and they're new. They're the scattered Israelites. So once the elect get beamed up on the chariots and they witness the destruction of America from above, then they're going to come back down onto the earth and take over the world. And then we're gonna gather up the Edomites. You know, they're gonna be under subjection to us, and then as for the scattered Israelites throughout the world that weren't caught up in the destruction of America, they're gonna be considered strangers, because then they're gonna witness the power of the elect and the power of Yahweh. They're gonna be brought into the fold. They're gonna be inquisitive. The scriptures say, "In that day, thy people shall be willing." So who wouldn't want to get down with the supreme team or want to be like the elect? You know? So you have the elect 144,000 and the 1/3. You know what I'm saying? So not every Israelite is gonna be destroyed. You know? Every Israelite in America that's not of the elect, they're gonna be destroyed, that's for sure. But the other Israelites scattered throughout the four colors of the earth, they're gonna make it.
This is Isaiah 14:1 again.
Oh, and also I may add, those Israelites, they're Israelites of the flesh. Like, that's their true nationality. They just may not know that they're Israelites. We gotta get that straight.
Isaiah 4:1, it says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them."
And plus, it doesn't make sense. Why would an Edomite be joined to us? When it says Obadiah that they're gonna be extinct. They're gonna go extinct after 1,000 years. And then even then, like the other nations, like why would they be joined to us when the scriptures say that they're not even gonna be allowed into the temples of the Most High? They're gonna be separate. See? That's another point.
The Christians, they don't understand it. They don't have all the precepts to put it together. It says, "And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids."
With them is the other nations now, because they're gonna be our servants. They're gonna be our slaves.
Fulfilling our every command.
And like going back to like what I was saying about how you want to treat your slave, you want to let out some frustration and anger, you can just be like, "Come here," smack him like a pimp. You just be able to do that.
Right.
And if you think about it, they essentially do that today, Edomites. Because what do the police do when they pull you over and they having a bad day? They may brutalize you. There's a reason why police brutality is so rampant in this country. It's because this is their kingdom, and they can get away with it. That's just what it is. And they have a hatred for us.
See how ICE doing people.
We're gonna do to them what they've done to us. I mean, that's just it. Fair is fair. We're not gonna be like brutal and extreme and like go against the laws and
buck breaking them and shit like that.
Yeah, like that was uncalled for, to say the least.
That's just being a total demon. At least we ruling over you. You're gonna be ruling over you in righteousness still.
Yeah, that's some most shit. You know what the scriptures say about that. Yet they was doing that. But these are supposed to be Christians, God-fearing, godly people.
Right.
That's why we call plantation Christianity just that. because it was something that was put on us when we was in captivity, and it's a tradition that we've been carrying on and passing down for years.
I tell you, like, they showed it in the movie so well. You remember that movie with you remember about this the Haitian slave? He got whipped. I forgot his name. But they did a movie on it. I want to say it was Will Smith or somebody.
Yeah, he starred. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie.
Yeah. I'll get it real quick.
That was the last good movie he did, if you ask me.
It was a good movie. Emancipation, right? And one of the, like the beginning scenes, you see like a video of a slave talking that obey your master's scriptures and pulling all those scriptures, but he was like he was the preacher.
He was reading out of a slave Bible.
Yeah, he was like the preacher, and he was telling it to the rest of the slaves, which is what you had years later. You know, he was put in that position, and he was just like really just plaguing everybody else's mind to accept this garbage. And they showed you that in the beginning scene, and then you had the overwatcher watching over the dude as he was talking, and he was just like he knew, like, yeah, this is all a play. Like, he knows this is some bullshit that the slave is doing, and it's not real, that they was pressed upon him. But you know, this overseer was like, just like, yeah, like he sees it. But
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, watch that movie.
yeah,
You haven't.
there was a lot of good stuff in it, you know, that I've never seen in any other slave movie.
It was based off of a true story too.
Right? Isaiah 14:2. It says, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh, for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors."
And they don't like that. They don't like that part. Because they're going to have to deal with the fact that someday there's going to be a change of rules. You're going to be pimp slapping Edomites for fun. That's what they wish they could do to us at the job. You know what I'm saying? But how they do it nowadays is they'll write you up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's your warning right there. That's your punishment.
Yeah, that was get right, nigga. Get right.
See, this is like a modern day slavery that we're living. I mean, you gotta pay taxes and the bills are so high. So we're not slaves literally, but we might as well be. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work at the job, which is the plantation.
Like I always said,
Basically.
you can make the case that this is worse. You can make the case.
Yeah, like living under this capitalist society, but all you gotta do is just work, and then maybe you have some money left over to yourself. Majority of your money goes towards bills, just so you can keep a roof over your head, buy some food, which that's like basic necessities of life: roof over your head, food, and water. If we had all that to sustain ourselves, then we really wouldn't need jobs or capitalism. But capitalism essentially enslaved this world, really.
Yeah. Here it is.
You over here chasing after $1 just so you can keep a roof over your head.
Right. Because here it is, which is in America, in other countries, there's no such thing as a property tax. In America, you could buy your home, pay for it full cash, but you don't own the land rights, and you can't even obtain the land rights. So you just pay for the house that's on the land. So say if you fuck around and miss your actual,
Tax payment? Property tax payment?
property taxes. You paid off your home, but you're missing the property taxes. You're not making those payments. They're gonna take the land and the house that's on the land. So it's all a scam here. You people bought into it. That's why forever, as long as you live here, you have to have money coming in. You can't just retire and chill in your house and your land that's paid off. Nobody, you ain't gotta worry about it taking nothing from you. You can't garden and have your own farm on your land, on your acreage to live off of. You have to commit to this system. You always have to have income coming in, so you'll never be comfortable.
And the elites, they're the ones who have all the money and the resources, while the vast, overwhelming majority of people on this earth are working for them, essentially. There it is. They get to kick back, live lavish, while the average person has to clock in and go to work. They got to pay taxes. But the elites, the filthy rich people, they live how they want to live.
And
They do what they want to do.
and they don't pay the taxes because the money that we're using is theirs anyway.
Yeah, because they control the banks, they own the banks.
It's all a system, but it's like people don't see this game being played on. Yeah, people still wake up just happy to be here. Like Isaiah 14:3.
After that, get Isaiah 60.
Isaiah what?
60.
60.
I don't know what verse it is, but we'll see.
It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
You said it. You said you could make the argument that this is worse.
Yeah.
This is worse than 200 years ago.
Under slavery, when you was on the plantation, your necessities was met. Now here, you still a slave, but now you got to cover your own necessities. You think it's all worth it because you could probably take a vacation at the end of the year. You bust your ass for a slave all year round, but you have a week where you can take a vacation, and then it's back to the reality.
And it never seemed like a good deal back in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? When the dollar was worth more. When you had a single income to the house, your wife stayed home, and you had money to take care of the kids, you had a family car. It didn't seem like a bad deal. But here we are in 2025, inflation is at an all-time high, and it's like now you're struggling just to survive.
Just
Rent,
getting
the
by.
cost of rent is sky high. Cost of living is sky high.
50% of your income goes to just your shelter. So what money do you have for saving? What money do you have to splurge or buy something nice for yourself?
They don't let you have any kids
Or any debt?
or shit, even a wife,
Yeah, like,
because they like to be entertained. You gotta perform for them.
right?
That's why Paul said if you can, just be like me and be by yourself. So my point is, this society is not scheduled for the chosen ones. It's not meant for you to thrive in and be comfortable in. And that's why this place has to fall. This can't go on forever, man. This is our captivity.
But you said that real quick. It's 1 Corinthians 7:28. It says, if thou marry, thou hast not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless.
So what is that word, virgin? Pretty sure it means young woman and man.
Virgin in the Greek. A virgin, a marriageable maid, a woman who has never had sexual intercourse with a man, one's marriageable daughter, a man who has abstained from all uncleanness and whoredom, attended on idolatry, and so has kept his chastity, one who has never had intercourse with a woman.
Yeah. So in some cases it could mean young man or woman. In other cases it literally means virgin. They never had intercourse. So in this society, people date around, they start when they're young. They experiment, right? And they jumping around from relationship to relationship, which is wrong. You shouldn't do that.
But we're under captivity. So again, you'll never have it the way you want to have it here, under captivity. It says, nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth, that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not.
So in other words, like we've been saying, you'll never have it the way that you want it to be. You might have a woman, you be like, yo, I wish I didn't have a woman. Some days you may wake up and feel that way. Or it could be the opposite. You be like, yo, I wish I had a wife. I'm so lonely. I should get a girlfriend. I'm feeling lonesome. And then you snap back into reality of this world. You're like, you know what? Fuck that.
Right.
That's just my mind playing tricks on me.
That's what it's pretty much saying in this 30th verse. I'll read it again.
Yeah, read it again and then read it in the NLT so it can sound clear.
It says, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. You gotta have that mindset, like when these thoughts start like creeping in, you be like, yo, fuck that, like, because it's never the way we want it, and we want the kingdom. So you gotta be ready when something's like not best for you. You gotta be ready to just stop it and cut it off and do it without it. In the times that we're entering into, because it's just gonna be, a hurdle. It's gonna be a burden unto you. And things aren't going the way it needs to go for it to work for you.
And the hard truth is that you get a woman these days, she's basically a liability. You take her on a liability.
Right.
You get a woman, she's really just somebody you're dealing with.
She's a big baby. You just got a big child.
She's just somebody you're dealing with for the now or for the moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because in our society to come, like, we're really gonna be having our way. So it's like, you know how the laws speak about how you're not supposed to be living in the same house with a woman when she's on a period? That's unrealistic to them. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have enough money to pay for another place for her to live 9 times out of 10, unless you Neo or somebody.
Right. We don't have the resources to have multiple women to fight. That's why it's just better in the kingdom when we have the resources, everything's gonna be the way it needs to be.
Yeah. So it's basically we don't have the resources to really like balance out a relationship and have it perfect.
Right.
The way that we would want it to be.
In the kingdom, like, our women aren't gonna have to want for nothing.
Yeah, she's gonna be able to sit back, relax. She's not gonna have to have her feet touch the ground. She's gonna have somebody to carry her.
Like, at that point, what the fuck could you complain about?
Yeah, you know how they have like those carriages, and they have the people, and 4 people, and they carry them on their shoulders. And you have the person that's just sitting up in the chair. That's royal status. And that's the type of treatment that we gonna be getting as a people. You're not gonna have to walk if you don't want to walk. You don't want to walk, somebody's gonna carry you.
Right.
They don't want to carry you, smack you.
You're gonna be greeted for alligator mice that can carry you. 1 Corinthians 7:30 in the NLT, it says, those who weep or who rejoice or who buy things should not be absorbed by their weeping or their joy or their possession. Because in the times that we're entering into, you're going to get ready to lose it. But you got to be prepared to be ready to lose it. One or the other.
Yeah, even your bitch.
Right.
She might slow you down the line.
Right.
She'll be like, hey, he didn't get his check. You'll be using your bitch. You're going to be living off your bitch. She got the chip.
Right.
And she going to catch wind, and she going to catch on. She's like, yo, like, is he using me?
I mean, that's her purpose, to be used, no? I mean, shit, you already got it. You my woman, I told you not to get it, and you get it anyway. Shit, at least you could do it, serve me with it.
And then let you have like a family, like let you have kids. You're the only one in the household without it. You can't do nothing without it either. You can't work, you can't pay bills. You can't function as a society without it, because that's how it's gonna be one day. And so let you be the only one that don't got it, she may sell you down the line. But you know what? You ain't no man. I don't want to be with you no more. I gotta get with somebody that can actually function in this society, that can pay my bills, help our family. You know what I'm saying? Because they jump around anyway. They get divorced.
There's Ecclesiasticus.
So as soon as a girl feels like her needs aren't being met, she starts planning her exit strategy. That's just facts.
This is Ecclesiasticus 25 and 22. It says a woman, if she maintain her husband.
I was thinking about that scripture.
Yeah. It says a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. She's gonna start to resent you.
Yep. She gonna be like, she gonna start looking at you like,
This is a man. You're gonna
I
have
could
all,
do better than this.
right? She's gonna start having all them thoughts. If she got the chip, you don't. Shit like that. Rather than just being happy to have a man, she gonna start looking at you like damn, this is the enemy. This nigga just sits around all day. It's like I ain't got the chip. What you want me to do?
She be like, you sleeping under a bridge. Do something.
Like our children, they gonna go hungry? Like you got the chip. What do you mean?
That's why Paul said they that had wives be as though they had none. They wish they didn't get involved into it. Because you're never gonna have it your way. Never gonna have it your way in America, in this society. So really, in a way, you gotta be ready to cut a girl off. Once she becomes a burden to the point where you feel like you can't do what you gotta do, you gotta cut her off.
Right.
Because it's gonna be like that anyway. When she takes the mark of the beast.
Which more likely she will, even if you tell her not to. Because we understand women don't have faith. They just have they just under a man as protection. But if they feel like that man isn't doing his job, quote unquote, and protecting them, which in their mind is gonna register, you're not gonna get the chip from me? You're not gonna get the chip for our family? That's when all hell gonna break loose. Shit gonna change. The relationship gonna change. Or women don't have faith.
Or on the contrary, you may be in the truth, you may be dealing with a woman, and you may even tell her everything about the world and why things are the way that they are. And, you know, realities may set in, and she might be like, you know what? He's right. She might come around to the truth.
Right.
And she may actually listen to you. And she might go out with you.
Right. You just know, like, even like based on the stories in the scriptures, women's faith is small. You know, like when Job is going through his tribulation, what his wife tell him? Curse the Lord and die already. Like, why you want to suffer through this? Women don't want to suffer. They can't think of the idea of suffering. Look at Lot's wife. He told him not to turn around, and what she do? She couldn't help but turn around. She thought she was missing something back there. Like she was missing out.
Perfect example.
It's like, you just gotta understand this is the mindset that women are in, and that's why you gotta lead them. And if they don't want to be led, that's when you just gotta cut them loose, because now they just impeding on your progress at that point.
Yeah, we really don't even have like wives, so to say.
Exactly. So that's why it shouldn't be so hard. Like, you know, just men in general, you know, they just over invest in women here, thinking that they got something when they really don't. You gotta just understand who and what it is you're dealing with, and deal with it from that perspective.
Yeah, deal with them accordingly.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you do right by them. Treat them nice. Treat them good like how you would treat yourself.
But once they start fucking up, they start slipping, you gotta tell them, you fucking up, you slipping. You can't just keep rewarding the bad behavior.
That's what simps do. You know? Anniversary comes around, y'all just had an argument. You want to make things right. You know, you go buy some flowers and keep everybody happy. That's all a simp thinks. Instead of that, you should be thinking about how she can keep you happy. How's she gonna fit into your program?
Exactly. Here it is, you're rewarding bad behavior. What's gonna stop her from acting bad now? Just being disrespectful or whatever. Because you're rewarding the behavior, you gotta start taking shit away. Even if that's your presence altogether.
Yep. Your energy, your time.
Right.
Because that's what's most valuable. You know, now, you also gotta factor in money.
Right. Resources. The time that we're entering into, when the money ain't gonna be shit, being a man of the Lord is going to be the greatest resource we have. You know, having the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that's going to be the greatest resource to have in this time to come. That's going to be when the men are going to be men of the Lord are truly going to be valued. Because right now, you're not valued.
And then suddenly, you know, that dude that works at a regular job, you know, he got some regular money, he's going to be looking, his value, his price is going to go up. You know what I'm saying? That dude that's cool, calm, and collected in the midst of Jacob's trouble, or when all hell is breaking loose, people are down bad. that dude's gonna be cool as a cucumber. And people are gonna be able to see that in you. And they're gonna be like, yo, there's something different about him. I wanna get with him.
This is Isaiah 13 and 12. It says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in that day of his fierce anger.
Yeah, the day of his first anger. And that day is when Yahweh Shai comes back.
Even like the famine, all the pestilence, all the things that the Lord said will come. That's just, the interlude before he comes.
That's also part of the Lord's anger too.
Right.
Because remember, what happened to ancient Egypt and how the plagues happened before the Israelites were delivered, it's going to be the same thing today in this modern day Egypt, how we're going to have to endure and suffer through hard times. Plagues.
And it shall be as the chase road, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land.
Yeah, because it's gonna be so bad. People are gonna be like, you know what? Living in America is not even worth it. It ain't worth it. So they're gonna be planning their exit strategy if they're not now. I mean, you know that this is like the highest number of people just deciding to leave the United States and live abroad.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
I even heard a story about how Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're preparing a home overseas too right now. They're building a mansion in the UK. And they're not the only, millionaires or billionaires doing that. You got others that have their properties outside of the United States because they need somewhere to go when SHT happens.
Knowing what I know, if I wasn't 10 toes down in the truth, I'll be plotting my escape too. I'll be trying to get the fuck out of here because there's really nothing left here. It's like if you're gonna struggle, at least struggle somewhere else.
Yeah, like if I had a bunch of money and I know what I know now, I would just leave. I'd be like, yo, I'll just be reporting from another country live. I'll do videos, you know what I'm saying? But the average person, they don't have the funds to leave or the wherewithal maybe, because it's easier when you move to another country and you can at least speak the native language, you know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes I look at 10 tribes and I'm like, at least you got a country to go back to. Like, what is it really worth staying here for? You're coming over here to basically live the same way as you would over there. You can't buy a house in your home. You gotta move in with your family. So you really can't get nothing on your own. You got a $800 car note. You're paying bills, working 40 hours a week. You basically came here to be a servant, to give all your money and time to Esau. But that's fun to you? That's fulfilling?
It's worth it.
That's worth staying here for?
Come over here, bust your ass to send people money back home. Right? That's as good as it gets. May as well just stay where you at.
Yeah, because the quality of life ain't here.
Not anymore. This ain't the 90s no more.
Exactly. You guys at 60? We're calling for that. Let's see verse 14. That's a good chapter. Go up.
This is Isaiah 60 and 9. So surely the isle shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first to bring thy sons from afar, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord Yahweh thy power, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee.
Yeah, because when we're in the kingdom, we're going to take all the riches and resources of Esau and also the other nations, and they're going to be delivering it to us by hands.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee.
Because where do you think they're going to get the gold from to build up the 12 tribes, the 12 gates? You know how it speaks about that in Revelation. How there's going to be 12 gates made of gold. Where do you think they're going to get the gold for that? They're going to have to mine for it. They're going to have to give up all the gold that they got in their reserves and their stashes. They're going to be working.
And it says the streets will be paved with gold. So how much gold you going to need to do all that?
It's a lot of gold. And they're going to be building up the kingdom. That's what it just said that. Read it again.
It says, again, Isaiah 60:10, it says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
So again, there's going to be a change of roles. It's going to be ironic to some people, but not to us. Because in the kingdom, that's when we're going to get what we deserve. That's when we're going to be treated like royalty. We're going to get the riches, everything that we want. Land, families, wives. We're going to be the elites of the world. We're going to be the super rich. We're going to be able to control every facet of a society.
No outside influence.
I mean, it's only fair. They do it now.
And wickedness.
So why don't we get our turn and we do it righteously?
Right.
I mean, it's better that way for everybody.
Isaiah 60:10 says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought.
The forces of the Gentiles. So we're gonna have servants, more than what we know what to do with. I mean, I guess really you can never have too many servants. You're gonna be able to always find something for them to do. Especially when we're gonna be on royal status. We're not gonna have to work another day in our lives. You think we're gonna have to work and clock in?
Right.
Pay taxes in the kingdom? Like, no.
For that word forces in the Hebrew, it's strength, might, efficiency, wealth, army.
Yep.
So all of the other nations' wealth is going to be transferred to Israel.
We're gonna have the brightest minds too.
Right.
We're gonna have architects.
Of us, we're gonna have the mindset, okay, how can we make humanity better? Here, Esau has the opposite. Okay, like how can we oppress the people and make their lives even more hell?
Exactly. They're the ones who come up with ways to monetize basic necessities of life, like selling you bottled water and plastic at that. You're getting plastic particles all up in your body, your blood, and then you wonder why the rates of diseases and sicknesses is so high. It's because of the environment that we're subject to living in.
Give you the bad food, cooked in the bullshit, defiling everything, man. Spraying pesticides on the fruit, the vegetables,
Testing nukes in the ocean.
chemtrails in the air, forever chemicals.
Which then you contaminate the ocean, then that contaminates the fish
Right.
that you like to eat.
It's like we gotta get out of here.
Only a demon, a devil, would do this. We can go on and on, but for the sake of abiding by rules and regulations, we won't say much. We won't say too much.
Isaiah 60:11 again. 60 and 11. It says, "Therefore thy gates shall be open continually; they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish; ye, those nations, shall be utterly wasted."
Utterly wasted. So you have to have a choice. Maybe you just read it. So that's just the truth. Finish that up, you gonna wrap it up?
That's really it on that.
So with that, we're gonna close.
I'll finish on this one. Spoke on it a little. This is Revelation 21 and 21. It says, "And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl."
That's where you get the phrase, the pearly white gates. I want to enter into the pearly white gates. It's gonna be more than just pearls. It's gonna be gold. That's Jake for you. Like,
Precious stones.
That's the lifestyle of a Jake. You know, fancy things, jewelry. You know, you can't spell the word jewelry without J-E-W, because Judah were the first. What do you call it? Jewelers? Yeah. Judah were the first jewelers. You know that?
It makes sense though.
That's where you get that word from. Jewelry.
And even now in the Diamond District, the so-called small house out there, the Amalekites, they run that. That's their game.
Yeah. They be having bank accounts stacked up with money that they get from the United States, and then they come over here and they got enough money to open up a business. They got a head start.
They run the Diamond District. Oh man, I gotta start up soon. I'll start at Revelation 21 and 19. It says, 18. "And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold like unto clear glass. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, onyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh crystallite, the eighth beryl, the ninth a topaz, and the 10th a chrysoprase, the 11th a jacinth, and the 12th an amethyst."
So that represents the 12 stones, because each tribe has a stone that's assigned to them.
It says that the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl.
Yeah.
And the streets of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass.
And that's also, let me add, that's where you get, what is it pronounced? The ephod, that's where you get the ephod from.
It says, "And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it." Stop there.
Yeah, it's this.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
3, 4, 8, that's 12. You know what I mean? So that's it.
I got one more point to go into. There's Isaiah 3. I'll start at 18. It says, "In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their coils, and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles of the wimples, and the crisping pins.
So that's our style as a people.
Right, that's the Lord cursing us now. He took it away from us. But when he returns, he's going to be, returning it all back to us.
It's gonna be
Our
looking
glory.
like royalty. It's gonna be nothing for you to have a chin.
Yeah, glory. Like, we're going to have crowns with jewels in it and all that. Like,
You want a bracelet that's so heavy, your wrist you barely lift up your wrist. You have that.
it says, and the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils.
You know how expensive linen is.
Pure linen. It says, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle of rent, and instead of a well-set hair, boldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Are you good?
It says, and burning instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she, being desolate, shall sit upon the ground.
That's like the curse. The curses that we had to endure.
That's what we're going through now.
Us falling from our royal status, being
Falling from grace, so to speak.
being in subjection to our enemies and our oppressors. So that's why we look forward to the day of the Lord, so that He can end all this, that we can assume our destiny, which is the kingdom of heaven. So with that, we gonna close.